Good afternoon, students. Welcome once again to our literature class. We are still on poetry, and the poem we are going to talk about today is The Fallow Deer at the Lonely House. It is written by Thomas Hardy. And this poem can be found on page 44 of Developing Poetry Skills. Now, our learning objective. By the end of this session, you should be able to 1. Identify the rhyme scheme of the poem. 2. Identify the theme of the poem. And 3. Give your personal response to the poem. This poem, which is full of images, is set in and deals with the countryside and its beauty, portraying the poet's deep love for nature. It is winter time. That is the coldest period of the year, and people are sitting by the fire, chatting, when they have the sensation, when they have the feeling that someone out there is watching them, is peering at them. This poem is a two-stanza sestet. A sestet, as we learned earlier, is a stanza made up of six lines. And this poem has two stanzas, each has 6 lines. That's why it is called a sestet. And this one is a two-stanza sestet. It begins with the phrase one without, meaning someone outside. The reader realizes that the identity of the one talked about, that is the fallow deer, is not made known. Hardy deliberately disguises the identity of the creature outside the lonely house. Why did he do that? Why does he do it? He does this to give the suggestion that this one without is not of this world, but exists beyond the boundaries of the earth, thus giving a hint at a life after death. The form of the second stanza is the same as the first one, but it is the very opposite of the first. The meanings are not the same. This is to counter the possibility of the supernatural. Hardy wants to emphasize a point. He wants to tell the readers that there is no supernatural entity watching over us. By saying in the last line that the creature is 4-footed, thus depicting that all 4 of its feet are firmly on the ground, the poet accentuates the fact that the one without is not of the spiritual world, or if not of the spirit world, it has a substantial existence. It is mundane. It is of this earth. The narrator cannot see the one without. He only visualizes the creature in his mind's eye, in his imagination. Here, Hardy manages to make amends for man's inability to perceive that which is beyond the boundary of his vision. And he aptly does this by envisioning the unseen. And this last bit has brought us to the end of our poem. Now let's move on to the test, to the exercise. Let's move on to the questions. Your set of questions is: number 1, what is the rhyme scheme of the second stanza? Number 2, what is the main theme of the poem? Number 3, what is your reaction to the poem? How do you see the poem? Number 4, give an example of repetition in the poem. Number 5, give an example of a symbolism in the poem. And number 6, give an example of metaphor in the poem. And that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Thank you for your attention. We'll meet again. Bye.